YB stays on your neck.
The Joshua I saw on June 1st in Madison Square Garden was an imposter. It wasn't Joshua. It was somebody else from what he was acting like before the fight, how he carried himself in the fight. That was not Anthony Joshua. I don't want to take anything away from Andy Ruiz, but the way I look at it, he didn't beat Joshua. He beat somebody else. I can't lie about that. I mean, you saw Joshua before. That wasn't Joshua.
Bob, Anthony Joshua, obviously, after the fight, has given not one single excuse. There was a lot of conspiracy theories from everything from ring walks to massages in the ring to being knocked out in sparring. He's dismissed all of this and just given the credit to Andy Ruiz. Isn't it fair that we just kind of accept what he's saying or not?
No, because we're not fools. We know what we see. And I think he's being very sporting because nobody put a gun to his head to make him go in the ring on June 1st. But the guy in the ring was not Joshua. It was not Joshua. It was a different fighter. You can sugarcoat it any way you want.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we just heard there from Bob Arum. Now, what do we know? What has YB been saying? Oh, YB doesn't know boxing. Oh, YB the conspiracy theorist. No, Bob Arum is probably the dude, the don, who knows the most about boxing on this planet from a promotional and any standpoint. He's been around boxing for damn near 100 years. He's seen everyone. Yeah, he's seen, people want to talk about Lineal champion. Bob Arum was there when John L. Sullivan won the belt. Fact, he promoted John L. Sullivan. Simple as that. It's funny, quite funny. Tyson Fury talks about Lineal champion. John L. Sullivan, that was his promoter. Fury's new promoter is now John L. Sullivan's also promoter. He's done a whole lot. And people want to tell me why we don't know boxing. Anyway, let's take it from the top. And I couldn't obviously include this whole interview, but if you want to check it out, this particular topic starts at around the 4-minute mark. So you can check out the full interview on IFL TV's website, YouTube page rather. So from the start of the clip, Bob Arum says, "Look at Ruiz's record. We put him in there with ham and egg guys. He couldn't get rid of them. He had no punch." Looking at that fight, we've seen AJ versus Parker. We've seen AJ versus Vlad. The Joshua I saw on June 1st, it wasn't Joshua. It was somebody else. The way he was acting before the fight, the way he acted after the fight, that was not AJ. These are all Bob Arum's words, by the way. You can check it out. I don't want to take anything away from Ruiz, but the way I look at it, he didn't beat Anthony Joshua. You saw Joshua. You've seen him. That wasn't him. Coogan. And then, and that's basically what Bob Arum says. And then Coogan butts in, trying to be smart. He says, "Oh, well, isn't it fair we just accept what Joshua's saying?" And Bob Arum replies, "No, we're not fools. We know what we see." AJ's being very sporting, but that guy in that ring that night was not AJ. Simple. Now, you've heard in his voice himself the passion of it. That was not Joshua. I will not be fooled. We will not be fooled. We know what we saw. It weren't Joshua. Now, I'm intrigued to see what all these dudes who were saying, oh, conspiracy, oh, excuses. Why is Bob Arum? Bob Arum is a rival promoter. We know for a fact. Let's get something straight. We know for a fact Bob Arum has no problem roasting Eddie Hearn. In fact, before the fight, he was roasting AJ as well, saying AJ was no good. So why is it people like Wilder, why is it people like Bob Arum are coming out and saying now that weren't AJ in there? Or AJ looked concussed, or etc, etc. Why wouldn't they want to be able to say, no, that was the best Joshua, he's been fully exposed, he's a bum, he's just no good. And I say this myself, listen, Ruiz's performance really wasn't that good. Fair play to him, he did enough to win, fact. No one's taking that away from him. He won, 100%, no one's taking that. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, what he did to win, it wasn't an amazing performance where you sit back and think, wow, he really showed us something he hasn't showed before. Ruiz did in that ring that night everything he does always. There was nothing special. Joshua was absolutely pitiful. He was shocking, abysmal. That's what we do know. Yeah? Let's start with what we do know. That was a shocking performance. AJ's never looked that bad before in his whole career, ever. The jab was soft and moist. Listen, that jab was like Joshua in the build-up, completely moist, giving his bells out, giving his belts out, and taking pictures with Ruiz's family. Moist.com, simple as that. That's how AJ's jab followed like his whole attitude did for the whole week. Moist, simple, no doubt. But what we do know is, it was not Joshua in there. And why are the independent sources, or independent people, coming out and saying it? That's what I need explanations from people, because I'm meant to be the conspiracy theorist. Yeah? And what I think is more conspiratorial is the fact that people are sitting there saying, oh, no, he beat 100% Joshua. Yeah, Joshua, yeah, just give respect to Ruiz. Let's suck Ruiz off. Suck Ruiz off for what? He went in there and Bob Arum even said. Bob Arum said
that Andy Ruiz, who we promoted from the beginning, was a good fighter, had fast hands, good feet, and was very courageous, but he didn't figure with Joshua because he had no punch. You know, we put him in with ham and egg guys. You know, look at his record, and he couldn't get rid of him. He had no punch that really had an effect.
And look at his record, and this is what I've been trying to tell people. You know there's something wrong. Ruiz, I can't remember the night, Ruiz fought some random, look at Ruiz's KO ratio is 65%. That means he's gone the distance with 1 in 3 people. And his resume, you can't say, well, he's fought Klitschko, he's fought Lennox Lewis, he's fought Muhammad Ali, he's fought Tyson. Who's he fought? He ain't fought no one. 1 in 3 bums. He's basically fought 1 in 3 people on his resume, aka 1 in 3 bums Ruiz couldn't finish. Now, did he finish AJ? Absolutely, no doubt. But unless his power has come out of the thin air, or unless his knockout abilities come out of thin air, he fought literally 6 weeks ago, or 8 weeks ago, versus some random bum, and he couldn't put him down. The guy retired after 7 rounds. Embarrassingly enough, that guy, who was a heavy bag with eyeballs, embarrassingly enough, went further than AJ did. And that guy never even hit the deck. And he was a random dude no one's ever heard of, with several clean KO losses. That was it, Dimitrenko. Dimitrenko's been KO'd by can't remember who, but he's been KO'd twice smoothly. And Ruiz couldn't even put him down, never mind KO him smoothly. But yet AJ gets in there and all over the place. And even putting that to one side, why is Bob Arum saying it wasn't Joshua in it? He's adamant. He's fully emphasising it as well. And I just think that's, for a rival promoter to say that, Frank Warren as well, may I add, he said similar things, interestingly enough. But yet people want me to stop looking into what's going on. I think it's weirder for people to see that performance and actually sit there and just want to suck Ruiz off, as if he did so, as if you know what I mean? Everyone's carrying on like Ruiz went in there and did some mental performance that makes you sit there and think, wow, he really showed that he is the pound for pound best heavyweight ever. He didn't do that kind of performance. It was pretty standard. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in his rematch. I'm going to do a video on it in its own right, but Ruiz said that he wants to come in. He wants to get into proper shape. He wants to look like Joshua. And I said myself, before this fight happened, I said, I'd love for Ruiz to come in 20, 25 pounds lighter and see if he can try and emulate a proper Tyson. Because he's going to have to, if he's going to be a competitive heavyweight or a world champion heavyweight, he's going to have to essentially emulate Tyson. Because his head movement's it's not all that, if I'm honest. It's not all that, and rightly so. It can't be. When you got 270 pounds, Tyson used to run out of gas. Tyson used to slow down. Tyson, who at 220 his head movement would fade. So Ruiz at 270, he can't be doing that left and right, up and down weaving business. So he should come in lighter for the rematch. But that's saying all that. All we do know is this particular fight that's happened weren't no AJ. But one thing I will say before I go, actually, let me put... Bob Arum, weirdly though, does go on to say... So after he said all this, after he's talked about how adamant it wasn't Joshua, he then goes on to say, oh, but I think the rematch will be the same result. Which kind of took me back. I thought, what? If you think it wasn't AJ in there, how can the rematch be the same result? And he mentioned some stuff about, oh, well, AJ will be mentally scarred. And I understand that part, but... like I say, man, we'll soon know, to be honest with you. In the rematch, I'm 50-50. And the reason I would be probably 90% sure Joshua would win if Joshua changed or added someone to the training team. Someone actually rate Alex Ruiz. I remember when he came into the camp for Marcos Maidana, and Maidana versus Floyd Mayweather won. Maidana was doing like 100 punches a round all of a sudden, and he went for 12 rounds, and that was because Ariza was brought in. And for the second fight, they didn't use Ariza, and Maidana was nothing like the same. But I'd like to see him bring someone else in, man. At least for the conditioning, if not for the boxing. If you want to stay with McCracken, that's fine, but at least bring someone in for the conditioning. I don't know what Joey you've got. Oh, yes, YB. Oh, Joshua works at SIS. Well, if Joshua works at Institute of Sport, why has he got no damn cardio? Where was it? You know what? Where was the Institute of Sport? Oh, he works at he works at SIS in Sheffield. Where was the SIS in Sheffield when he was gassed in the third round? Someone answer me that question. Where was the SIS in Sheffield when he was on his knees in the seventh, blowing, spitting his gum shield out? Where was all that card? Oh, Joshua's working at the IS. Joshua's working at the Sports Institute. Yeah, YB, you know what you're talking about. Joshua was at the Sports Institute. Where was the Sports Institute then? When I was up at 4 a.m, sitting there, with my chin hanging on the floor. Unbelievable. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. Couldn't believe what my eyes were observing. 6'6" Adonis, spitting his gum shield out to a little fat dude. And I'm meant to be, people want to tell me about the SIS building in Sheffield. How the fuck the SIS building in Sheffield? If the SIS building in Sheffield gets you that level of cardio, it's no damn good. Simple as that. You're better off leaving that dead ass place and going somewhere. Come to YB. I'll have you running so many damn hills. Cardio, listen, Anthony Joshua will be no, there won't be no Anthony the landlord Joshua. There won't be no Anthony the cash cow Joshua. He'll be known as Anthony Cardio Joshua. That's what he'll be known as. Simple. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But anyway, simple as this, man. That weren't Joshua in there. Anyone with a brain can see that. And YB's going to get to the bottom of this, one way or another. YB will get to the bottom of it.